Thanks, Paul. Yep, my audio was off. They say that's the quote of 2020 is, you're on mute. I was on mute. Oh, yeah, so now I've got to backtrack everything I just said. Oh, that's okay. So, yeah, today, Dignified Hospitality, I am going to be looking at the current situation for the various marketing channels that are available in the hospitality industry. Conventionally, Yelp being the big one. So I'm going to look over Yelp's economic average report that they publish every quarter about, the trends in the restaurants and on the businesses on their platform. And then going to talk about some, innovative new marketing channels and their effectiveness. So first would be influencer marketing. You see a lot of that on Instagram, and that's actually become a really popular method of marketing, quite costly for businesses to partake in. But is it really authentic, and is it really effective for a business, especially given the trends of where we're going? So pretty content-packed stream today. I'm going to be drinking some Tenir Yellow. Beautiful tea, yellow tea from Tenir. And Tenir is actually going to be presenting as part of the Small Tea Grower Festival this coming Saturday. So it should be really exciting to catch up with Suresh and family and, of course, drink some of their tea together. Of course, the Small Tea Grower Festival is happening this Saturday to commemorate Small Business Saturday. Of course, the tea farms are, in our perspective, the smallest businesses in the industry that we'd like to celebrate Small Business Saturday. So that's from 5 to 9 p.m. Pacific time, Saturday evening. The reason why it's in the evening is because all of the presenters are based in Asia. So we had to be considerate of their time as well as our time here. So I figured a nice Saturday night tea party should be lots of fun. Hey, Kayla, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, that should be a lot of fun. There still is time to pick up one of the premium experience tickets. If you go to the link bit.ly/Small Tea Grower Festival, you should be able to score tickets there. And I'm actually currently in the process of packing all of the tea boxes, the tea sample boxes for those ticket holders. And of course, we are selecting one randomly who will be winning a handmade ceramic matcha bowl by our friends Marie and Patrick at Not Made in China in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So you want to get that ticket by the end of day today. Yeah, the Saturday tea party should be good fun. Lots of work to get ready for it. I kind of went on a fun little getaway. Forgot about life for a while. Oh, that tea is good. I needed that. Go well with my chocolate donut here. I couldn't help. I was trying to save it to make it all pretty for here, but I couldn't help. I just had to go for it. It'll be a good pairing. Yeah, so a yellow tea, if you haven't heard of that, it's a different category of tea. So, all the tea comes from the same plant. It's how you process it. You get the different categories of tea. And a lot of it has to do with the oxidation on the leaf in the processing. So yellow tea it's not oxidized like an oolong or black tea is. You can see in the liquor. The liquor is actually quite, let's get a face paint here, you can see it. The liquor is actually quite light in color. Not much oxidation has happened, but some oxidation has happened. And the coloring that happens, the oxidation, is different than the oolong and black tea oxidation, and gives it, a different character, different aroma, different feeling. Of course, the raw material that Tenir uses in their tea is very high energy. Of course, has been treated with a lot of love over the past decade or so. So that all plays into the quality of the leaf and the tea. But it ends up being, if made well, should be sweet, should be mild, may start to have some of those processed sweetness attributes that you get from like the oolong and the black teas compared to the green tea. Because they process it very similar to a green tea, where they do the kill green step to denature the enzyme that causes the oxidation. And after that step, the warm tea leaf is put into a heap and covered. So there's some warmth in that leaf, and you get a continued chemical process. It's not the oxidation process. I myself am still having difficulty trying to understand the science of it, because a lot of the technique is developed and managed by the industry in China, which is not very open about translating. And even when they do describe things in their own language, there's a lot of magic that's allowed to explain things, which is great. It's fine, but when you're trying to introduce it to somebody that comes from the Western perspective, the Western culture, where we like facts, we like things, we like to understand things in some order, it does make it a little bit difficult to explain it. It's just magic. Beautiful tea. So yeah, Saturday tea party. It is certainly going to be a tea party. There will be no shortage of education and other interactivity throughout the event, but we will be streaming the event in the Topia Tea House. So if you want a little bit more of that party feeling and party atmosphere with experiencing this festival, I highly recommend that you join us on the Topia platform. And I will certainly be sharing all of the instructions and details about how to access that platform and get the best out of the experience. And that will be from your computer on a Chrome browser. So that's as difficult as it gets. Other than that, it's very easy. We'd love to have you there. And of course, we will be hosting a lively, fun after party after the event is complete. All right, so I'm going to get to the programming, why I tuned in today to share with you. I'm looking at the Yelp Economic Average Report. And this is published every quarter. Let's get it up here on the screen so we can all see it together. It's published every quarter. I have already reviewed with you guys quarter 1 and quarter 2. This is the quarter 3 report. I've been waiting for it. It took a couple of months for it to come out. So now it's out. We can take a look at it. So the overall headline says Yelp Economic Average shows new restaurant and food businesses are opening. Business reopenings rise across the country. So that was the overall theme of last quarter, which I believe to be true. We did see a lot of businesses opening, and those were mostly businesses that were already planning to be open, working on their build outs, even prior to the pandemic beginning, and waiting until a lot of them had delayed grand openings because of the pandemic. And so in quarter 3, which of course is from June to September, July to September, sorry. June is the ending of quarter 1. From July until September, we did see a lot of those businesses open, and of course, other businesses reopening after being closed during pandemic. COVID-19 has tested businesses. It has tested their resiliency, their dedication, and their creativity, but businesses have risen to the challenge. So I think that's going to be a strong theme throughout this report. They say, however, business closures alone don't tell the full story. While our economic impact report and the latest unemployment figures show continued economic uncertainty, our data shows that some areas of the local economy are showing promising signs of adaptability. And that is an important word, adaptability. I talked a little bit about it last week in introducing the concept of ghost kitchens, which is one of those big adaptability functions. But there's more, right? So I wanted to focus a little bit more today, not so much on the logistics of that adaptability, which is what the ghost kitchens are doing, but more on the marketing. And of course, marketing of ghost kitchens, and they're interrelated. Ghost kitchens came, and the concept of ghost kitchens and how they're set up now, it came from the trends in marketing and how new entrepreneurs, new chefs can address those evolving trends in marketing and how consumers are connecting with the food that they eat. In a display of tremendous resilience, many local economies are reopening, and even amid setbacks and delayed reopening plans, businesses have persevered. Many with new operating models and services. Restaurants and food businesses, an industry hit hard by the pandemic, have seen a significant number of brand new business openings and increased challenges. These openings and reopenings have been sustained by focusing on health and safety, as well as new approaches to serve their customers, including moving their services and patrons outdoors. Relatedly, consumers have been spending more time outside, reflected in an increase in interest for outdoor-related service providers and leisure activities, as well as outdoor dining. Of course, this was Q3, so that was prime outdoor dining weather. Yelp data shows that there's a significant number of entrepreneurs opening up restaurants and food businesses at this point in the pandemic. Opening a restaurant is no easy feat under normal economic circumstances, yet it's happening during the pandemic at a higher rate than one might expect. The data indicates that the number of restaurant and food-based business openings are increasingly more in line with 2018 and 2019 volumes with every passing month. And they are counting a new opening as new businesses that are listed on Yelp. One would be hard-pressed to find new restaurants opening with elaborate fine dining interiors, but pandemic-optimized eateries are opening, debuting some combination of features such as large patios, spaced-out tables, order-ahead menus, and efficient service cuisine. Compared to the same quarter in 2019, hi Gabby, good to see you, thanks for dropping in. Yelp observed an increase in brand new openings in 2020. Nationally, for open-air food services, included farmers markets with 211 openings, food trucks, in addition pop-up restaurants and seafood markets experienced an increase in openings from 2019. So that seems to be pretty directly related to the pandemic and how the new businesses would have to evolve to deal with the mandated orders or just consumer concern for cleanliness and safety and how they interact with the restaurants they eat from. So there's, not big fine dining build-outs happening right now. And I think about it, here in Vegas, there's been a few, but Vegas is an interesting market because they are aggressively trying to get the economy back on track of where it was prior to pandemic, which the Strip is really a lot based on a high turnover of fine dining options in the various casinos on the Strip. So that trend has continued. But outside of the Strip, I think all of the other new establishments that have opened have been more cafe or takeout. Even though I would say that the value offering of those establishments are far higher than what you would typically see from a casual coffee shop or cafe opening up. So that's been something unique that I've seen. Maybe not fine dining, but fine quality products, high quality products are becoming more of a focus. And I think that's related to the shift in marketing trends and what the consumer really wants. Yelp data indicates openings increased for food businesses that specialize in sweet treats that are often enjoyed at home or sent to friends and family for socially distanced celebrations. So that's interesting. Unsurprisingly, in April, restaurants endured a large drop in new openings. However, in May, a rebound had already begun with 29% average monthly increase of new restaurant openings from May to July. New restaurant openings have stayed relatively flat in August and September, with approximately 6,600 new restaurants opening each month. So there's a chart here. Let's just look at it. I think that'll be the best way for us to process this. So the red line here is 2020, and then the other lines are the other years. So you see the 2019 is the highest line. So you can see how the trends go up. And 2020 still stayed, you know. But a lot of that was probably the product of projects that were already in the works, were already funded, were already in the process of build out from, you know, January, February, March. They started their build out, signed their leases, got their investments together. And then, of course, April and May, we were on total lockdown at that time, so no one was going to be opening. No one could open at that time. So maybe if they had plans on opening here, they got pushed to these months. So, you know, I'm not too surprised with these numbers. It doesn't surprise me. Because think about it, like actually a business that's at the point of build out back in January, February, they actually have a higher chance of success of surviving the pandemic than like a very successful established restaurant, only because of the cash flow issues. So if you were starting to build your restaurant in January, February, you know, you have it budgeted into your plan that you're going to be in build out for a couple of months. You're going to be training your staff. And so you had already expected to be burning through that money with getting no revenue in return. Versus an established business did not plan on losing any revenue. And if they're going to continue to burn, if they want to continue to keep their employees working and getting paid, then it's an issue. So we are seeing some very established, famous, beloved restaurants closing. And new ones will come in. And even newer ones will come in from there as well. Let's see what else they have to say. Yelp measures community resilience by comparing the rate of change of new openings in Q3 relative to Q2, removing seasonal impact. Community resilience determines how well states have rallied to open new businesses in Q3 compared to Q2. That's funny. Community resilience determines how well states have rallied to open. I don't know if that's a good way to put it, but that's the way they put it. That's interesting. Oh, this donut smells good. I'm gonna have to get another bite. What's up? What's up, Twitch? I see you guys. Say hi. Say hi. I'll say hi back, I promise. I'm pretty nice. So let's see, with the states with the most community resilience are North Dakota, Washington, D.C., Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Wyoming. I kind of don't understand those numbers, but let's look at the chart. Maybe the chart will make more sense. It says the rate of new restaurant and food business openings varied by state. Hey, Hedge, what's up, man? Thanks for tuning in. Are you in the restaurant industry? Is this interesting for you? The donut smells good. It really does. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Perfect. Just perfect. I might have to take another bite. That's a good one. That's a good one. It's hard to find a good donut these days, you know? Tef. Thanks for saying hi, Tef. Yeah, if you work in restaurants, let me know. Where are you at? How are the restaurants in your place doing? So yeah, this is more new openings in Q3 relative to Q2. I see. South Dakota. Wait, no, that's Wyoming. That's South Dakota. North Dakota. I see. Well, I don't know. This one doesn't have much value to me. It is hard to find a good donut. It is. You know, you think donuts are like simple. It's like fried bread. How can you get it wrong? And you go to some donut shop, even like the famous ones that pile all the crap on them. Like they're dried out. They don't have a good texture. They're too sweet. There's too much crap on them. This one's simple. This one's good. This is like one of those old-fashioned buttermilk covered in chocolate, iced in chocolate. Simple. This is in Chinatown. This is, what are they called? Ron's Donuts in Chinatown in Spring Mountain. Shout out to Ron's Donuts and here in Vegas, Chinatown, Vegas. All right, so here's the rest business reopenings. Oh, you're in Denmark. Cool, Tef. Hey, thanks for sharing about that. Yeah, I heard about Denmark. We have a viewer on YouTube in Denmark that was telling us about the lockdown there. That's good. That's good that the restaurants are still doing okay. Here in the U.S., the restaurants are not doing so okay. Do you think that's a surprise, right? Because, I mean, I guess the reputation around the world is that we're not taking the pandemic seriously here in the States. And there are a lot of states that haven't locked anything down. They haven't shut anything down, yet the businesses are still shutting down naturally, like having economic issues. So I think that says a lot about the pandemic response. I don't know. This map also doesn't tell me much. Every state is the same. I don't get it. I guess this one's lighter. And that's it. That's not New York. New York is down here. What state is this? I guess it'll tell me up here. I don't know. Not important. Move on. What else we got? Financial services. No, we're talking about restaurants. Oh, consumers are returning to their pre-pandemic activities. Oh, I see. Interesting. This is an interesting graph. Each bar is a month sized by the percent of reopenings that occurred in that month. Okay, I see. So is this all July, August? Okay, so these are just this quarter. So banks mostly reopened in September. Kickboxing opened all in July. Oh, that's good for you guys, Tef. So Tef says that in Denmark, the Danes are pretty good to support restaurants by buying gift cards, even from small places, and the Danes are good to follow guidelines, even if we have a position that are not to agree with the guidelines. Yeah, we don't do that here. We don't do that here at all. Very different culture. I'm very interested in Danish culture. You know, actually, I'm Danish. That's probably the strongest like cultural identity that that I grew up with. My last name is Petersen, S-E-N. But I've never been to Denmark before. But I certainly have met my family, and they're all fun, great people. So I look forward to going and hearing things like this. You say that there is a small portion of people that disagree with the guidelines. There always is going to be, but you're also saying that even if someone disagrees with the guidelines, they're still going to follow them because there's just some overarching understanding of why they exist, or because I felt like that when I went to Mexico. I just went to Mexico, and hi Kelly, good to see you. It was interesting to see because I think that there are guidelines. There were like official government guidelines, but there was no enforcement going on yet. Everybody was following them. Everywhere you went, people were having masks on. All types of people. You never had an issue of feeling uncomfortable because someone else isn't wearing a mask or someone else is in your space. Everybody was giving the space, but I don't think that there was any kind of enforcement going on. So that really contrasts with what's going on here, where we actually do have the guidelines going on, but people are just assuming that the guidelines are a tool of control versus just a humanitarian thing, a good thing to do. You say, yeah, they're still going to follow them, else we are not going to provide them with the service they wish to get. So you're talking about like if someone comes into a restaurant. Yeah. We've gotten a little bit better here. In the beginning, there were a lot of horror stories of people like being defiant in guidelines and taking it out on servers. Like it's the server's fault that the guidelines are in place. The servers are just following the guidelines. Of course, like when the guidelines are kind of silly, like for instance, at the beginning of the pandemic, the CDC and everybody said that the face shields were good. The plastic face shield that comes down like this, that if you worked in a restaurant, you wouldn't need the mask here. You could just wear the face shield. And so for a long time, people would just wear the face shield. And then, you walk in and you forgot your mask or something, and then they're yelling at you, oh, you have to wear a mask, you have to wear something, and they're wearing the face shield. And it's like, your face shield is not really helping me or helping you any more than me not wearing a mask. But now, actually, those face shields, people have started, some states have actually said those won't work. You can't use those. They're not effective. Yeah, Kayla says, people are aggressive in their disagreement with the guidelines here. That's true. Yeah, when I was in Mexico, granted I was only there for 4 days, but the entire 4 days I was there was not one issue of someone, disagreeing, saying they don't want to wear masks. I mean, here, you hear people bickering about it all day long. Yeah. So, yeah, and they're saying that restaurants are one of the riskiest places. Because that's where people feel confident in taking their mask off so that they can eat or drink. And then, you may be far from people, but we all share the air. So used car dealers had the biggest reopening. That makes sense. Everybody wants to rent a car. Mortgage brokers. I don't understand why mortgage brokers would even close, because they could do all that work remote. The face shield is like, I think it should be an additional thing. You know, like if you really are afraid of things getting into your eyes or something. But yeah, because those shields, they still have openings on the side. And you know, one time I was at a restaurant and the lady was like taking my order, looking down, and she had that shield, and it was like whatever the shield was catching was just gonna drop it right down on top of me. Oh, I'm sorry. Must love tea and dogs? What? Must love tea and dogs? I want to hear more about that. Like, what does that mean? Because I love tea and I love dogs. So I must be one of your kind of people. Yeah, people get angry. I did a road trip through Wyoming and South Dakota, and in Wyoming at least, I felt that. And I was like wearing it, and I was like checking into like one of these like little small motels, and the lady, the clerk at the desk was like, "Oh, you don't have to wear that." And she didn't have one on. And I said, "Well, I want to." I said, "Because I just came from 7 different states. Like, I didn't walk around without a mask on, but hey, Paul, good to see you." But, you know, they felt like I was insulting them, like as if like I was thinking there was germs there. That's my germs. I don't want you getting. I was like, I come from Las Vegas. She's like, "Oh, you have COVID there." I said, "Yeah, I know. That's why you want me wearing a mask." But knock on wood, I have not gotten sick. I have not tested positive, but definitely been very cautious. You know, trying to live life, but at the same time navigating that while still being cautious. The name is a play on the movie Must Love Dogs. How many chats do I hope it? Okay, I have, I'm streaming to 4 different channels and 5 different channels actually, and I'm looking at the chats of all of them. So, Tef, I hope you're not offended, but as of right now, who I'm chatting with is just between Facebook and Twitch, so mostly Twitch. And I'm really trying to put more into Twitch, and going to start doing more Twitch exclusive streams, just so they can be more fun. You know, I started doing these streams just as some educational, engaging content for our network of buyers and tea lovers, but since getting involved in Twitch, I've seen like how effective of a channel is, and I was actually going to talk about that today in regards to authentic marketing in this new age. And all right, I'm closing this report. It's done. I'm done with that report. Yelp, you disappointed me. That the last reports they put out were great. That one was, I don't know. But anyway, you know, I think that Twitch is great because it is very authentic engagement. Even more so than Instagram or Facebook. So I'm really excited about seeing more brands get involved in streaming, and not just as commercials or whatever, but as like genuinely creating connection and telling an authentic story about the value that you add. And you know, that's what I'm talking about in trends. So this is another report I found. I want to look through from Public is Sapient. And it's a research report titled COVID-19 Leaves Restaurants Hungry for Digital. And so this Cello Joe is here? Cello Joe. Yeah, how do you feel about Twitch? Cello Joe needs to be on Twitch. And if Cello Joe wants to learn about Twitch, I'd be more than happy to tell Cello Joe about, because he would do great there. He would do fabulous and actually make money. So Twitch is actually where streamers are making money. I'm not making any money. I'm not trying to do that. I am really just, you know, trying to keep the community together, share information, and then also introduce, you know, these opportunities of connecting and sharing information to brands and to artists like Cello Joe. You know, because I know Cello Joe works hard. He creates a lot of really great art for this world, and it deserves to be supported for that. So, yeah, Cello Joe, I'll help you get on Twitch. Yeah, I try to reach everybody. So, Tef, on Facebook, that's actually where we get the most views for these videos, because that's where our most engaged community is. I've been building this community for 8 years, and not only is it a community, but like our platform has become a source of information and connecting with new innovations and new things. And so I started to live stream to keep that flowing, because I used to physically travel to different trade shows or tea festivals to do public speaking, and that's where I was able to keep that information flowing, but not able to do that this year. So I got onto streaming, and Facebook was the original platform that I was trying to put all of our energy into, but realizing how easy it is to cross-post across streams, and then of course I've kind of gone down the Twitch rabbit hole, so I'm very optimistic about Twitch. And some cool projects we have building up over there. Part of the Small Tea Grower Festival on Saturday. Oh, Muslim Tea and Dogs, you're going to be at the festival. Yay! I'm shipping out your stuff today. All those things are getting shipped out today. It's a lot of work. So I will get those out into the mail by the end of the day. So you're guaranteed to have it by Saturday for that event. And that event's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Of course, we'll be streaming on Twitch, but we'll also be streaming to the Topia Tea House. So when you receive your box, there will be a little explanation in there about the ways that you can join the festival. Of course, you can use Twitch, but if you want to like make some new tea friends and have kind of a cool virtual tea experience with some new tea friends, you can do the Topia Tea House. And that'll be open to everybody. So, yeah, let's look at these trends. So this report just has some like trends. According to our research, 93% of the leaders we surveyed say the COVID-19 outbreak has had a significant or radical change on their business. And looking forward, 65% are seeing significant or tremendous gaps in their current digital offerings. The pandemic shifts how consumers buy food. In 2019, prior to COVID-19, most customers purchased their food in-store, representing a large percentage of revenue, 41%. But since March, that's all gone down to 19%. And this has all been going mobile, takeout, delivery, and off-site methods. I don't know, I just cook more at home. Digital transformation has become a necessity for survival. That's fine. Drink hot cocoa. That's great. Maybe you can find a way to put tea in it. And that'd be cool. That could be nice, actually. Maybe like a, you make like a matcha base and then melt like, you can make like a white chocolate cocoa. Oh, that'd be good. My Twitch, oh, Paul, you wanna hit up Twitch? Yeah, that's T-Let Tea. Just look up T-Let Tea. It's the same Instagram and Twitter. I'll link our Twitch page. Yeah, Twitch is great though. I'm a huge fan, and I am actually having a pretty popular Twitch food streamer that is going to be joining our party on Saturday. Do a little cameo, and we'll be talking, about the work that he does and get people fired up to watch him. Logan at Ingredientology is going to be coming on, and we're going to be talking about some cool, because he drinks tea. A lot of these streamers, they drink tea, and maybe they know or they don't know that there could be better tea to be drinking. So I want to make sure they all know that. Oh yeah, cocoa nibs and cacao nibs and black tea is very good. And there's a producer out of Colombia, Bitago. They make, that's probably the tea you're talking about, because that's the main one I've seen. What is the best tea then? Oh man, that's a loaded question. The best tea is the one that you enjoy drinking. Like seriously, like I kid you not on that. But everybody always asks about health benefits and which one's the best for energy, which one's the best for caffeine, which one's the best for falling asleep, or this or that. And there's really not one that fits into any of those categories. But if you want to think about tea and like what has been its traditional role in humanity's history and in our relationship with it, we mostly have to look to Chinese history, Chinese culture, so like traditional Chinese medicine. They see tea as this proactive medicine. It's not a reactive medicine, but it's proactive in that it equalizes the qi in your body and makes you calm, relax, like your body itself. So all of your systems within your body can be equalized, and but then it will give you some energy in your brain, and that's focus and meditative practice, helping you focus on your breath. So meditating is a big part of that. Oh, I had water in there the whole time. So then, if you think about it as a proactive medicine that you're supposed to be consuming every day, right? So then if you think about it from that perspective, what tea is best for that? Like, what tea is going to be best where you're going to feel motivated to sit down with it every day and to brew it every day and to drink it every day? Really, the only answer to that is the one that you truly enjoy. And so the only way that you can discover that and know that and make that decision is to build an intuition with your own feelings. And this is a powerful practice. This is a very powerful practice of being so present that you truly can understand your own feelings. With no bias of, oh, this person said this. And so that's why I actually encourage you not to take a recommendation. Don't even take my recommendation. My recommendation is just try all the teas. Try everything. And after drinking every single one of them, yeah, I feel good. I like this tea. Being able to do that is powerful. We rely heavily on someone else's feedback or opinion to help guide us. And that's been taught to us through other consumer products. There are thousands out there. There are thousands and thousands. Try all of them. And the more pure, in the sense of unblended or unflavored the tea is, the more of an educational experience it's going to be for you. And knowing thyself, yes, it's powerful. It's really powerful. Yeah, other connoisseurship products, wine, coffee, there's kind of this elitism that has developed in the connoisseurship of it, of the education infrastructure of those products. So think about wine. When you go and sit at a fine dining establishment, the sommelier is going to come out and describe to you which wines are going to be best for your pairings with your meal. And they're already giving you an idea of what you're supposed to experience and feel from that. And it's usually a very elite thing. And if you don't understand that experience when you take the product and you don't connect with that experience, or you don't say, oh, I'm not getting that, you know, wet leather note you're talking about, it can make it very exclusive and unattainable, inaccessible. So with tea, we're trying really hard. I say we, it's a whole coalition of us, mostly younger business people in the tea industry that are trying to open up the accessibility of tea, of fine quality tea, of connoisseur level tea, where it's accessible. And, you know, it's not like a textbook answer about how you're supposed to experience it. It's your own subjective thing. Everybody's body is different, and we're all going to react different to different things. So ultimately, the right answer is the one that you really enjoy, and not just in its flavor or in its texture, but most importantly in like how your body feels afterwards, how the energy in your body feels. Does it make you feel comfortable? Does it make you feel wiser? Does it make you feel more calm? Those are important things to be thinking about when you drink tea versus reading, you know, oh, I'm reading this jar right here and it says that I'm supposed to experience this, this, and that. Because what happens, yeah, is if you drink that tea and you don't experience that, you'll think that, like, either the tea is broken or you're broken, and then you won't pursue it anymore. Or the chances of you pursuing it will be much less. Yeah, the best tea is the one you love. Yep, that's it. I always do that. I give big, long explanations to things. I just start rambling. Yeah, people do taste things differently. Yeah, people taste things differently. And they experience things differently. So you gotta understand that. So that's something that's like a big hurdle for vendors of tea, for people that own tea shops or baristas that are introducing tea to new customers. It's always a challenge to understand and better curate what, you know, the consumer, what the customer would like based off of what they're feeling, what state they're in, what feeling they're seeking to acquire. Because yeah, tea is a very physiological response. It's not just a sensory thing. It's a physiological effect. Oh, we have a nice question here. So he says, I am new to what you educate people about. Do you ever talk about teas that are comparatively least acidic or non-acidic? So tea has a pretty consistent acidity. When tea is more acidic than another tea, it's actually usually an error in processing. So it's not good quality. So that's the only thing in tea that I find with acidity. Because most tea, if they are processed to the specification of quality processing, they will have the same acidity, which is actually a little bit acidic. So like tea, the plant, the Camellia sinensis plant, best grows in acidic soils. It likes acidic soil, acidic water. Acidic is for this is 4.5 to 5.5 pH. Bye, Kayla. See you next time. So, but if you ever have a tea, you will feel sometimes some like acidity on the side of the palate. And that's almost always an indicator that the tea was not withered to the right moisture content. So it wasn't withered long enough, or it was unevenly withered. So, you know, parts of the batch of the tea did wither to the right moisture content, but the rest didn't. And that can yield an acidic taste in the tea. So if you have tea and you're sensing acidity to it, there's probably better tea that you can find. And again, that's related back to what we were talking about. The best tea is the one that responds best to you, that you like the best. And if there's ever like texture or flavor or even an energetic response you get in drinking a tea that you don't feel comfortable with, like it's acidic, or it's overly astringent or it's overly bitter, that's what we're talking about, that your body just doesn't like it. So it's probably not the good tea for you to be drinking. Everyone has different memories and senses attached to flavor. Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, so I encourage you, if as a tea lover you are introducing tea to new friends or people in your life, I encourage you to keep it approachable. At the same time, don't belittle your connoisseurship. So like when I say that, I'm not telling you to not be proud that you consume the best and that you collect the best tea that you want to collect. You can be proud of that and you can communicate that to people, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're a snob and that you're trying to make it inaccessible to your friends. Because that happens in wine. People get into wine, they start spending all this money on this wine, they collect it, and then when they share it, it's like, it's more of a status symbol than it is an actual connoisseurship. Because, if we look up the word connoisseurship, I always spell it wrong, but thank you, Google, for getting it right. So, dictionary, let's go to Merriam-Webster. Definition of connoisseur: expert, especially one who understands the details, technique, or principles of an art and is competent to act as a critical judge. One who enjoys with discrimination and appreciation of subtleties. Okay, so did you see anything here about elitism or wealth or no? Yeah, so being a connoisseur does not mean that you have achieved any kind of status level over someone else. But that's a lot how it has happened in other products. So there's no room for that in tea. Some bros, they're trying to do that, Some of the first people that started bringing Chinese tea, fine quality Chinese tea to the U.S. market definitely did that. It was like a protection mechanism. It's like, I'm the only one bringing this tea in. There's only a few people that know about it, so I need to make sure that I secure myself as the leading connoisseur expert status. That's not tea. Tea is too humble for that. Tea doesn't have time for that. El Nari, what is your experience with acidic tea? I'd be interested to know what your experience with acidic tea is and why you asked that question. All right, I'm going to jump back to this report. All right, speaking of energetics, this tea's energetics have kicked in for me now. I am feeling very energized. My brain is like running a million miles an hour right now, but I feel good. Like overall, my body is feeling very comfortable. I have no complaints about anything feeling out of balance with anything else. I am noticing the energy in my mind, so that is something. I don't know exactly where that's coming from, but no, that's the caffeine and the theanine. I don't know why I said that. I totally know where that came from, but it's good. That's the magic of tea. That's why I like to call tea the nootropics of the gods. Nootropics. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Type it here. Okay, so this is an interesting. Digital transformation has become a necessity for survival in the COVID-19 world. Most QSRs have invested in digital, but they aren't as advanced as they want to be. 65% are seeing significant or tremendous gaps in their current digital offerings. Most QSRs, 87%, have implemented a significant number of digital initiatives in the past 3 years, yet only 11% consider themselves a fully digital enterprise. Just over half, 53%, say that they are well advanced in the journey, and 78% foresee changing 25% to 50% of their digital roadmap due to COVID-19 impact. So this right here is very interesting, you know, because it's going to be a lot more companies upping their digital marketing. And so if only 11% of them feel like they're competent, that means that there's another 89% that are going to be going big into the digital marketing. And do you look at the current channels that they have been working on? So Yelp, Facebook, Instagram, and influencer marketing. All of those channels have become really noisy. And so you have 89% of hospitality businesses that will be increasing their digital marketing. A good portion of those are going to be pursuing those conventional channels, but I think a lot of them also will be pursuing these new channels, including Twitch, which is what during this Multicolor Festival, Logan from Ingredientology and I will be discussing some of the potentials of integrating hospitality brands with food streamers on Twitch. All right, Elle, you say, oh, Elena, okay. Okay, so you are experiencing sensitivities to green tea in tea bags. Okay, so there's a couple things there. If a tea is in a tea bag, it's usually not good. That's the first thing, and that's pretty well documented throughout the internet. That's not me hating on tea bags. It's a pretty common theme among the tea world, is that there is a vast difference between the loose leaf and the tea bags. So that could be a first step. The second thing is, especially since it's in a tea bag, you may be over steeping the tea, which is releasing more of the tannic compounds as well as the caffeine and other, you know, nutrients in the tea. And so that could be causing some sensitivity. But generally, even with good quality green tea, good quality loose leaf green tea, if you drink too much of it on an empty stomach, it is really possible to get an upset on an empty. If you drink it on an empty stomach, you could become upset, and that's happened to me. Even with good green tea. There was one morning I was actually staying at the house with a very famous pu'er tea importer here in the States, and so we woke up in the morning. We were really excited to drink tea together, and just went straight to his tea table without eating anything, even drinking water, and I became very ill. So that was my first experience of learning about that. And that, I don't believe, has anything to do with the acidity in the tea. That has more to do with the caffeine, really. You know, green tea has a lot of caffeine in it. So that could be it. But I would say the first thing I would recommend for you, Elena, is to explore loose leaf tea. And then speaking of exploring loose leaf tea, especially the raw pu'er, so pu'er that has yet to get processed, the post fermentation process. And they call that green pu'er or raw young pu'er. That can be pretty extreme on the digestive tract, and it's simple to get rid of. I mean, it's as simple as eating a cracker. You know, you don't have to fill your stomach fully in order to stop this from happening. But if your stomach is completely empty, especially after sleeping all night, body has processed all of that and you drink, you know, a really harsh green tea first thing in the morning, it can create some issues with the tummy. So that might be it. But yeah, loose leaf tea. We have some available from the growers in our network that you can find at the retail website that we launched. Speaking of digitalizing your business to respond to pandemic, we started the retail website teaanditspeople.com so that we can better serve the consumer that wasn't getting access to tea through the conventional channels such as restaurants or, you know, tea houses, tea shops. But Black Friday until Cyber Monday, the entire weekend, we will be having 25% off the entire website. No code needed. It'll just be 25% off for you. We have different pack sizes of the tea. We do have like the full wholesale bulk packages, which are really affordable, and those will be having an additional 25% off. So if you are a major tea drinker, that will be a good place to stock up pretty much for the year. So that'll be the whole weekend between Friday and Monday. We'll have that up on that website. So that'll be a good chance to go pick up some different loose leaf green teas and see how you like those different ones. Mobile has become table stakes. Customers go first to their mobile devices as they seek convenience in ordering. Mobile also unlocks new opportunities to enable contactless services. Our research showed mobile at the top of the list for technologies that QSR leaders believe will be key drivers of innovation in the industry. Mobile is a mechanism to deliver a variety of contactless services that are in demand from customers today. A large majority of QSR companies currently offer mobile payments, mobile ordering, and web ordering. But what's going to become even more interesting in this category of like mobile ordering and mobile engagement, yeah, teaanditspeople.com. Yep, that's it, Elena. Yeah, there's that site again over this weekend. You'll save some money. And the website always, if you're based in the U.S., if you order, I believe it's $80. If you order at least $80, we have free shipping. So get the sale, get free shipping. It'll be a good time to get tea. Data is a differentiator in identifying and unlocking value. Data is already being used in combination with artificial intelligence to support personalization in areas such as digital menu boards, improvement of customer loyalty through engagement or targeted offers, and with other methods of automation or digital initiatives. QSR companies are most likely using transactional data and master data to support AI initiatives. Yeah, well, QSRs leverage data for personalization. Restaurant executives also understand it will pose new threats and concerns. Concerns about security are getting in the way of designing and planning digital transformation. 39% say it's their biggest challenge. That's interesting. This point right here about the data is extremely interesting because it's something that in the tech world, right? So there was a company in the 500 startups cohort that we did in Silicon Valley called Love with Food. And they did like a monthly snack box where they would partner with different brands that would put their products in their box, and food lovers, you know, could try out some new snacks every month. They paid $10 and they got all these snacks. Well, the company wasn't making that much money off the boxes themselves. It was a very difficult business model. But where they found value is related to this about data, where they were collecting all this data. All of these snacks were getting sent out all over the world, and they would get survey responses from the customers, like, what did you like, what didn't you like? And that data in itself became very valuable to these food brands, so that they could, you know, better understand the regional preferences of different snacks and foods in different parts of the country that would then help them and the rest of their marketing. And so that's that's here. And now they're talking about even restaurants employing their own AI in order to process the data that they have. But you got to think about it. There's data all over the place, all other kinds of data that could also be included with this kind of analysis and strategizing for food businesses. So I think this, of all the trends in this particular report, is the most interesting to keep an eye on, of where we go with data and who is going to be collecting this data and how are they going to be processing it and making it available into the industry. Because the data, it's being collected by restaurants, of course, but I think that there are other sources of data, including those conventional marketing channels, Yelp, Facebook, Instagram influencers, how to engage those folks that are actually on the ground floor of innovations and trends. How can you take data that they're acquiring from their followers, engaging with their content, and translate that engagement data into strategies that can then be employed by food companies and restaurants. Interesting. So that was that article, and oh, here's another. I guess that was the report we just read. I'm liking the music today. Little chill R&B. Let's check the tea. See that? That's yellow tea. Beautiful leaf here, actually. See how broad, big leaf this is. And that bug is also pretty big too. I think that's interesting about the Nilgiri tea industry, where this tea comes from. The whole area was planted as a cash crop in like the 1960s. The government subsidized and encouraged tea to be planted on all of the land, to uproot all the other crops and only plant tea, because they had a very positive trade agreement with USSR. It was back in the 1960s. And they, for a good 20 years there, were the exclusive suppliers of all black tea. Yeah, you should try some yellow tea. Teenir is actually going to be one of the presenters at the festival on Saturday, but we will be focusing on their black tea. So you'll get to try their black tea. Of course, if you want the yellow tea, you can get it off the website. It's one of their more exclusive teas. I actually don't have stock of it to do the, to focus this. We just have the black tea. And actually, you know, they're making pu'er tea. You know, I shouldn't call it pu'er because it's not coming from the pu'er area or Yunnan in China, but they're making post-fermented sheng-like tea. Very pretty stuff. And let me explain just briefly why they're able to make post-fermented tea or sheng tea, which usually you only find in Yunnan in China. As I said, the industry was planted as a cash crop, as a monoculture cash crop in the 1960s. In that part of India, this is southern India, Nilgiri is in the very bottom, southern part of India. It's very far from where the other tea industries had already been developed in Assam and Darjeeling. So they didn't have infrastructure of the cuttings, the clones that would be needed, because that's typically when you develop a tea industry, you plant clones into the ground. You select the varieties, and in India they have the Tokai Research Center where the government funds the research to develop these different plant varieties. And then those plants will, from the mother plant, they will cut parts of the plant that would root and become its own plant. And those are clones. And so you usually have a infrastructure of nurseries that are producing these clones, and you can purchase from them when you want to plant a new garden. Well, in South India, they did not have those clones to purchase. So what the government did was purchase a bunch of seed from all over the world, tea seed, and they indiscriminately distributed it to all the tea farmers and told them, just plant the seed in the ground. Remove all the other trees, remove all the other crops, and just plant the seed into the ground. And that's the tea industry now. And so if you look at photos of the Nilgiri tea industry versus, you know, typically what you see is, typically when you see the tea fields, you see like one consistent color everywhere. But here, let's see. I'm just doing a Google image. You can see, like, this is typically what you see in the tea field. This photo here, let's see. Every single plant is exactly the same. These are all clones. They all grow the same way. They all look the same way. They all have the same looking leaf, the same size leaf. But then this is what the Nilgiri tea industry looks like. You see different colors, different size leaves. Some of the plants are smaller than others. This is because every single one of these plants is a unique genetic expression because it was grown from a seed, right? You think about a clone versus your sibling, right? You may have come from the exact same genetic stock, but your expression is completely different. If you were a clone, you're 100% identical to the mother stock. But, you know, if you're born naturally, like you're germinated naturally, like a seed would be germinated, you would get a random genetic expression on each of those trees. Even if the seeds are coming from the same mother tree, you will get a different expression. But here, in this case, the seeds came from all different sources. They didn't know where anything came from. So you'll walk through these fields, and some of the trees will actually look like Asamaka varieties, and some of them will look like Sinensis varieties. You never see the two of them intermingled, but they didn't know the difference. And for all of the years, from 1960s until now, the farmers still don't know the difference, and they still don't know that they're actually sitting on something very valuable. The fact that all of their gardens are planted from seed means something very valuable. So what Tenier has discovered in what it means to grow from seed is that the chi, the energy in the tea, is much more powerful, and that he has been able to replicate that shung process. It's like a green tea process, but then he packs it into a cake and lets it age, and the tea is actually aging and changing. And I've actually served his shung pu'er to a tea master in Yunnan who's been making pu'er tea his entire life. And I kid you not, he asked me which mountain the tea came from in China. He's like, this tea came from China. What mountain? I'm having trouble understanding what mountain this tea, because he's trying to taste it. You know, he's so experienced in tasting the teas from all the different mountains. And he was having so much trouble finding the terroir of that tea. And I said, oh no, it's coming from India. Nearly blew him out of his chair, because he genuinely thought it was like a legitimate pu'er tea coming from like a Chinese tea master. So that is the main requirement. Other than the processing style that you use to make the shung pu'er, the other requirement is that the tea plant has been grown from a seed. Just like these tea plants in South India. And the more wild you let it grow, or the proper term may be feral, you know, because feral is wild, but it's like something that was domesticated that become wild. So like these tea fields here, they're domesticated. They were planted this way, human intervention. But if these people were to let the trees go wild, like they have at Teenir or feral, just grow naturally, don't prune them, don't do anything, just let them grow, they will grow into big trees, just like you see in Yunnan. And when you harvest from them, you will taste and feel the minerality of the tea, the earthiness of the tea. And so, yeah, in this yellow tea, you taste it, you feel it, very high energy. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, this is a rabbit hole. It's a rabbit hole. And, you know, the seed grown thing is a super trend right now in fine tea quality, tea processing. Mostly in China and some parts of Taiwan, they're starting to realize if it's grown from seed, it's better. But in India or Nepal, they're not thinking about that. There has started to be some talk among farmers that growing from seed is more ideal from like a farming logistics perspective, because what happens with the seed, when the seed germinates and grows, it grows a tap root that will like go up and down, and it goes straight down. The roots that will grow from the cuttings, from the clones, they grow horizontal, while the seed will go vertical, deep down, and that's good for drought resistance, you know, because that root is, thanks, yeah, this is just a simple set. That root will go deeper into the ground where it will have better accessibility to the water table, the natural water that's underneath the ground. So if you do approach drought times or, you know, lack of rain, the tea plant will be more resilient on its own because of its root system. So some tea farmers in India are starting to notice that and realizing, hey, we should be growing from seed. And then people like me come along and say, hey, yeah, you should be growing from seed because you can get a higher value on your tea because the connoisseurship of tea, maybe not so much in the US, but it's getting there because people are getting educated about it. But where the tea market is the most beneficial and opportunistic for these farmers is in China. And in China, the you know, upper middle class that is supporting modern tea connoisseurship, they're looking for that qi. They're looking for that powerful energy that they can taste and feel that you really can only get when you grow the tea from seed. So yeah, that's a little tea education. One little taste of it. Much more to come. Well, guys, I think I'm going to tune out now. I've got to finish packing all the boxes to send out in the post office by this afternoon. And, yeah, it's been fun today. I've been having fun talking about this. Authenticity in marketing. I know I kind of was scattered all over the place. I wanted to, like, provide a little bit more of a background. Yeah, Saturday should be fun. I'm excited for it, too. Yeah, I wanted to provide a little bit of a background of why, you know, I'm talking about kind of evolutions in digital marketing. And so that's why I brought up all those reports. But yeah, we'll definitely be digging deeper into kind of calls to action and like the things that we're actually going to be seeing in authenticity and marketing, and experiment with it too. You know, our event on Saturday will be a big part of that. So yeah, this is going to be my final plug event, Small Tea Grower Festival on Saturday. That's going to be from 5 to 9 p.m. Pacific. It will be streaming live across all of our different channels. The premium experience tickets, if you do want to partake in that, you still do have a little bit more time to order that at bit.ly/smallgrowerteafestival. If you go to our teainthepeople.com website, you'll also get access to that. And then from Black Friday until Cyber Monday, we will be running 25% off the entire website at that teainthepeople.com. And then for wholesale customers, we will be running our annual free shipping sale that we do every year for you. And so that is just through email. So go ahead and just email me those orders that you would like to get during that sale. And as long as you confirm your order by the Cyber Monday, you will get free shipping on that. So that should be lots of fun. I think that's it. It's a lot of stuff. It's a busy week this week. But I'm pretty sure you'll be seeing me streaming every day because, yeah, I want to get everything going here for our event on Saturday. And, yeah, please help us spread the word. Let everybody know it's going to be a lot of fun. Something unique and educational to do on Small Business Saturday. All right, well, much love to all you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next time. See you later.